Sometimes you feel like a puzzle with missing pieces, scattered fragments that don't quite fit together. The world tells you to fix yourself, to smooth out your rough edges, to become someone more acceptable, more normal, more whole. But what if the cracks in your psyche aren't flaws to be repaired? What if they're openings for the light to enter? You spent so long trying to fix what you thought was broken. The anxiety that keeps you up at night, the sensitivity that makes you feel too much, the parts of yourself that don't match the perfect image you were taught to chase. You've tried therapy, meditation, self-help books, always searching for that magical solution that would finally make you feel complete. But completeness isn't what you think it is. The Japanese art of kintsugi repairs broken pottery with gold, turning scars into beauty. Your perceived brokenness isn't a mistake. It's an initiation. Those places where you feel fractured are actually portals to your own becoming. You learned early that certain parts of yourself weren't welcome. Your anger was too intense, your grief too messy, your needs too much. So you locked those pieces away, tried to be good, tried to be normal. You created a mask, what Carl Jung called the persona, to gain approval and belonging. But that mask came with a price, disconnection from your authentic self. The exhaustion you feel isn't from being broken. It's from maintaining the illusion of wholeness while keeping vital parts of yourself in exile. The anxiety that plagues you, it's those exiled parts knocking on the door of your consciousness, asking to be let back in. The loneliness that aches in your chest, it's your soul's longing for reunion with all that you truly are. Jung understood that true healing isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about reclaiming what's been lost. He wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Those parts of yourself you've rejected, they haven't gone anywhere. They've simply gone underground, into what Jung called the shadow. Your shadow isn't evil. It's simply everything you've disowned about yourself. Your raw anger holds your power. Your deep grief carries your capacity for love. Your neediness contains your ability to connect. Even your darkness has gifts to offer, but you can't receive those gifts until you're willing to turn toward what you've been running from. The symptoms that plague you, anxiety, depression, relationship patterns that keep repeating, they're not random. They're messages from your psyche asking you to pay attention. Every panic attack is a call to breathe more deeply into your body. Every bout of depression is an invitation to honor your need for rest and introspection. Every failed relationship is showing you where you need to heal your relationship with yourself. You're not broken. You're in a process of becoming whole. And wholeness isn't about perfection. It's about integration. It's about gathering all the scattered pieces of yourself and saying, there is room for all of me here. Your sensitivity, your intensity, your complexity, they're not flaws to be fixed. They're essential ingredients in the unique medicine you bring to the world. Think of yourself as a vast house with many rooms. Some rooms are well lit and welcoming. These are the parts of yourself you're comfortable with. But there are other rooms that have been locked for years, gathering dust in the dark. Healing isn't about renovating the house. It's about slowly, gently opening those locked doors and letting light into every room. Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But that privilege comes with growing pains. As you begin to reclaim your disowned parts, things might feel worse before they feel better. Old wounds will surface. Uncomfortable emotions will arise. This isn't a sign that you're doing it wrong. It's evidence that you're finally doing it right. You might feel intense anger as you realize how long you've abandoned yourself. Let it burn. It's burning away the false beliefs that kept you small. You might feel overwhelming grief as you contact the lonely child within who just wanted to be accepted. Let the tears flow. They're watering the seeds of your rebirth. The journey to wholeness requires radical self-acceptance, not just of your light, but of your shadow too. The parts of you that rage, that desire, that want more than you've been given permission to want. The parts that society labeled too much, too intense, too different. These aren't obstacles to your healing. They are the healing. Think of yourself as a symphony. Every emotion, every experience, every aspect of your being is an instrument. The goal isn't to have only violins playing sweet melodies. It's to conduct the entire orchestra. The thundering drums of your anger, the mournful cellos of your grief, the soaring flutes of your joy. True wholeness is when all instruments play their part. You've been taught that healing means becoming someone else, someone calmer, someone more stable, someone who fits better into the world's narrow definitions of health. But what if healing actually means becoming more fully yourself? What if your sensitivity isn't a weakness to overcome, but a gift to cultivate? What if your intensity isn't a problem to solve, but a power to channel? Jung believed that the psyche naturally moves toward wholeness, just as an acorn contains the blueprint of an oak tree. Your task isn't to force yourself into some idealized image of health. It's to remove the obstacles that block your natural unfolding, to create conditions where all parts of you can grow into their full expression. This means learning to listen to the wisdom of your symptoms. Anxiety might be telling you where you've abandoned your boundaries. Depression might be showing you where you've lost connection with your soul's purpose. Even addiction points toward a deeper hunger, not for substances or behaviors, but for wholeness itself. The healing journey isn't linear. There will be days when you feel the exquisite alignment of all your parts working in harmony, and there will be days when you feel completely fragmented again. Both are part of the spiral path toward integration. As Jung said, there is no linear evolution. There is only a circumambulation of the self. You might be afraid that if you accept all parts of yourself, you'll become dangerous or uncontrollable. But the opposite is true. It's the rejected parts that act out destructively, demanding attention through symptoms and sabotage. When you create space for all of yourself, a natural balance emerges. Your anger becomes clarity. Your grief becomes compassion. Your neediness becomes the capacity for deep connection. The world needs your wholeness, not the sanitized version of yourself that you think others will accept. The full spectrum of who you are, including the parts that don't fit neatly into society's boxes. Your sensitivity allows you to feel what others miss. Your intensity carries the voltage needed for real change. Your complexity brings depth to a world drowning in superficiality. Remember, the goal isn't to reach some final state of perfection. It's to keep expanding your capacity to hold all that you are, to keep opening doors within yourself that have been locked, to keep turning toward what you've turned away from. This is not a journey of fixing, but of remembering, remembering the wholeness that has been within you all along. Jung wrote, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." Terrifying because it means facing everything you've tried to hide from yourself and others, but also liberating because in that acceptance, you finally find the peace that has eluded you, the peace that comes not from being fixed, but from being fully seen and embraced exactly as you are. You're not broken. You never were. You're in a process of becoming whole, of gathering all your scattered parts and bringing them home. Every symptom is a signpost. Every struggle is a step on the path. Every moment of darkness is preparing you for more light. Let go of the need to fix yourself. Instead, become curious about what's trying to emerge through you. Listen to the wisdom of your wounds. Honor the intelligence of your symptoms. Trust that your psyche knows the way toward wholeness, even when your conscious mind doesn't understand the path. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a mystery, unfolding, not broken, but breaking open to reveal the vastness of who you truly are. And in that breaking open, in that courageous act of reclaiming all your parts, you discover what Jung knew. That wholeness isn't about perfection. It's about embracing the full spectrum of your humanity, the light and the shadow, the strength and the vulnerability, the certainty and the doubt. This is your journey now, not toward some idealized version of yourself, but toward the truth of who you already are. All of you is welcome here. All of you belongs. All of you is needed for the unique medicine you bring to the world. You're not broken. You're becoming whole. And that wholeness includes everything, especially the parts you thought needed fixing. Let this truth sink deep into your bones. You don't need to be fixed because you were never broken. You're exactly where you need to be on your journey of becoming whole. And that wholeness, messy, complex, and utterly unique, is your gift to a world that desperately needs people brave enough to embrace all that they are. Think of your psyche as a vast wilderness. Some parts are well mapped, the sunny meadows of your conscious mind, the familiar trails of your daily thoughts. But there are other territories, darker and more mysterious, that you've been afraid to explore, the dense forests of your anger, the deep caves of your grief, the wild rivers of your desire. Society taught you to stay in the safe, cultivated areas of yourself, to build fences around your wildness, to domesticate your depths. But Jung knew that true healing requires venturing into those unmapped territories. He wrote, "In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order." The anxiety you feel when approaching these wild places is natural. Your system has been trained to avoid them. But what if that anxiety isn't a warning to stay away? What if it's the excited trembling of your soul, anticipating reunion with lost parts of itself? Consider how a forest recovers after a fire. It doesn't try to become something different. It doesn't abandon its burned places. Instead, new life emerges from the ashes, often more diverse and resilient than before. Your healing follows the same natural intelligence. The very places that feel most damaged often hold the seeds of your most profound transformation. You've been taught to see your struggles as personal failures, the depression that keeps you in bed, the anxiety that races through your nights, the relationships that keep unraveling. You've internalized these as evidence of your brokenness. But what if these aren't failures at all? What if they're your psyche's desperate attempts to break free from patterns that no longer serve you? Jung observed that neurosis is always a substitute for legitimate suffering. The pain you're avoiding by trying to fix yourself is actually the doorway to your healing. Each symptom is a thread that, when gently pulled, leads back to a truth you've been running from. Your insomnia might be connecting you to ancient wisdom that only speaks in darkness. Your social anxiety might be protecting a sensitivity that's actually your greatest gift. The path to wholeness requires a fundamental shift in how you relate to your struggles. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" start asking, "What's trying to emerge through me?" Instead of forcing change, become curious about what your symptoms are trying to tell you. Your body speaks in the language of sensation, emotion, and symbol. Learning to listen to this language is essential for genuine healing. Remember the times in your life when you felt most alive, those rare moments of complete authenticity, when all your parts were singing in harmony. Perhaps it was while creating art, or walking in nature, or having a deeply honest conversation. Those weren't moments of perfection. They were moments of integration, when you temporarily dropped the struggle to fix yourself and simply allowed yourself to be. The journey to wholeness isn't about adding anything new. It's about removing the obstacles to what's already there. Like a sculptor who removes excess stone to reveal the statue within, your task is to chip away at the false beliefs, defensive patterns, and societal conditioning that keep you from your natural state of wholeness. Jung spoke of individuation, the process of becoming your unique self. This isn't about becoming better or more spiritual. It's about becoming more authentically you, the you that exists beneath all the shoulds and shouldn'ts, the you that includes your complexity, your contradictions, your chaos. Your healing journey might not look like anyone else's. Some people find their way through meditation or therapy, others through art or movement or connection with nature. There's no single path to wholeness, because wholeness itself takes infinite forms. Your task is to listen to your own inner guidance about what brings you alive, what helps you feel more integrated, more real. The symptoms you're struggling with, they're not your enemy. They're more like loyal guards who've been protecting vulnerable parts of yourself. Instead of trying to overthrow them, thank them for their service. Then gently let them know that it's safe to stand down. You're ready now to meet what they've been protecting. This meeting requires tremendous courage. It means facing the grief you've been running from, the rage you've been suppressing, the needs you've been denying. It means holding space for all of it without trying to fix or change anything. Just presence, just witnessing, just love. As you begin this deeper work, you might find that certain relationships start to shift. Some people might feel threatened by your emerging wholeness. Others might be drawn to your authenticity. This, too, is part of the journey. As Jung said, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Your transformation will ripple out into the world. As you reclaim your disowned parts, you make it safer for others to do the same. As you embrace your complexity, you give others permission to be complex too. Your personal healing becomes a gift to the collective. But this isn't about becoming some kind of spiritual superhero. It's about becoming deeply, authentically human. It's about embracing your limitations as well as your gifts, your awkwardness as well as your grace, your confusion as well as your clarity. All of it belongs. The journey to wholeness is not a straight line. It's more like a spiral, returning again and again to core wounds, but each time with more awareness, more compassion, more capacity to hold what arises. Some days you'll feel the exquisite alignment of all your parts. Other days you'll feel like you're starting over from scratch. Both are perfect. Both are necessary. Trust that your psyche knows the way. Just as your body knows how to heal a wound without your conscious direction, your soul knows how to move toward wholeness. Your job isn't to figure it all out with your mind. It's to create conditions that support this natural unfolding. This might mean establishing daily practices that help you stay connected to yourself. Meditation, journaling, movement, time in nature. Whatever helps you maintain contact with your inner world. It might mean setting boundaries that protect your sensitivity. It might mean seeking support from others who understand this deeper journey. Remember, healing isn't about reaching some final destination of perpetual peace or happiness. It's about expanding your capacity to be with whatever arises, to hold the tension of opposites within yourself, to dance with both light and shadow, joy and sorrow, strength and vulnerability. You're not broken. You're not a problem to be solved. You're a mystery unfolding according to its own divine timing. Trust this unfolding. Trust the wisdom of your symptoms. Trust that everything you're experiencing, even the painful parts, especially the painful parts, is part of your journey toward wholeness. Let this truth be your compass. You are already whole. Beneath the layers of conditioning, beneath the strategies of survival, beneath the masks you've worn to belong, your essential nature remains intact. Your task isn't to become whole. It's to remove what blocks you from experiencing the wholeness that has always been there. This is your invitation now, not to fix yourself, but to free yourself, to release the exhausting pursuit of perfection and embrace the messy, beautiful truth of who you are, to gather all your scattered parts and welcome them home, to trust that your breaking open is actually your breakthrough, your falling apart is actually your coming together, your darkness is actually your light in disguise. You are not broken. You are becoming, and this becoming includes everything, your wounds and your wisdom, your confusion and your clarity, your fear and your courage. All of it is sacred. All of it belongs. All of it is part of the magnificent mystery of your wholeness unfolding. As you embrace this journey toward wholeness, remember that integration happens in layers. Like the rings of a tree, each cycle of growth adds depth and resilience to your being. There will be seasons of intense transformation and seasons of quiet integration. Honor them all. The very symptoms that brought you to this path, the anxiety, the depression, the feeling of being somehow wrong or broken, they were actually your allies all along. They refused to let you settle for a life that was too small for your soul. They kept knocking until you finally opened the door to a deeper truth about who you are. Jung observed that the psychological rule says that when an inner situation is not made conscious, it happens outside as fate. Your struggles weren't random. They were invitations to wake up, to pay attention, to claim the parts of yourself that were crying out for recognition and love. Think about how a broken bone often heals stronger at the point of fracture. Your emotional wounds can serve the same purpose. The places where you felt most broken are often where your greatest strength and wisdom will eventually emerge, not because you managed to fix them, but because you had the courage to stay present with them long enough for transformation to occur. Your sensitivity, the very thing you might have tried to overcome, is actually your greatest asset on this journey. It allows you to feel the subtle shifts in your inner landscape, to notice when you're moving toward or away from your truth. Like a finely tuned instrument, your sensitivity helps you stay attuned to the deeper currents of your becoming. The path to wholeness requires a kind of radical honesty with yourself. It means acknowledging not just your light, but your shadow, not just your gifts, but your limitations, not just your dreams, but your fears. This honesty isn't harsh or judgmental. It's tender, curious, embracing. It says, yes, this too is part of me. This too belongs. As you continue this journey, you'll likely discover that what you thought was personal is actually universal. Your deepest wounds connect you to the collective human experience. Your struggles aren't separating you from others. They're revealing your profound connection to all of life. As Jung said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. This pain isn't punishment. It's not evidence that you're doing something wrong. It's the natural consequence of waking up, of removing the layers of protection that kept you safe but small. Like a limb regaining circulation, there's discomfort in coming back to life. Welcome it. It means you're healing. Your healing ripples out far beyond you. As you reclaim your wholeness, you create a field that makes it safer for others to do the same. Your courage in facing your shadow inspires others to face theirs. Your willingness to be authentic helps others find their truth. This is how individual healing contributes to collective transformation. Remember that wholeness doesn't mean constant peace or perpetual happiness. It means having the capacity to hold all of your experiences without rejecting any part of yourself. It means being able to stay present with both your joy and your sorrow, your clarity and your confusion, your strength and your vulnerability. The journey to wholeness is ultimately a journey of love, not the sentimental kind of love that only accepts the pretty parts, but the fierce, transformative love that can hold everything. This love doesn't try to fix or change. It simply witnesses, accepts, embraces. It says to every part of you, welcome home. You don't need to rush this process. You don't need to force it. Like a seed breaking open in its own perfect timing, your wholeness will emerge naturally when given the right conditions. Your task is simply to stay present, to keep showing up for yourself with curiosity and compassion, to trust the wisdom of your own unfolding. Let go of the idea that healing means becoming someone else. True healing is becoming more fully yourself. It's removing the obstacles to your natural state of wholeness. It's allowing yourself to be seen, known, and loved, first by yourself and then by others who are ready to witness your truth. You are not a project to be completed. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a sacred mystery unfolding according to its own divine timing. Trust this unfolding. Trust that everything you're experiencing, even the difficult parts, especially the difficult parts, is part of your journey home to yourself. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine gathering all the scattered parts of yourself, the proud and the ashamed, the strong and the weak, the loving and the angry, and welcoming them all home. Feel the relief of no longer having to hide or fix or change anything. Feel the peace that comes from finally letting yourself be exactly as you are. This is your birthright, to be whole, to be real, to be fully yourself. Not perfect, but authentic. Not fixed, but free. Not broken, but beautifully, powerfully, magnificently in process. Trust this process. Trust your journey. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be on your path to wholeness. And remember, always remember, you were never broken. You were only becoming.